Hi, my name's Annette Standing and I'm a colour pencil artist. I'm going to make a series of tutorials to help beginners to understand how we can use coloured pencils to make amazing, highly saturated paintings. Here are the basic tools that I use. I'm going to start over here. This is just ordinary blue tack. It has a number of uses, sticking paper to boards clearly, but it's a fantastic way of removing layers to create highlights and subtle tones out of focus backgrounds. There'll be a tutorial on that. A putty rubber, limitedly in its use really, but for just removing pencil lines perhaps, a good tool. This is my favourite thing. This is an electric eraser. You can get them for as little as £5, but this one is a Takeshi. It's much more expensive, but the motor is much more powerful, and I can use this to put highlights in or to draw, to take pencil away. It's a fantastic tool. I actually draw with this thing. Masking fluid can be used to preserve highlights on your original drawing so that the paper shines through. I don't use it very often, to be honest, because I find drawing around it quite difficult. This is colourless, odourless alcohol, and with this you can dissolve layers of pencil to make painterly washes and to remove pencil lines. This is fixative. Obviously when you finish your drawing you need to fix it, but it's also incredibly useful if you've got lots and lots of layers and you can't work it anymore. If you put a layer of this and let it dry, it allows you to add more layers. This actually is a hairdressing brush. Some people use a drafting brush, but I find this quite useful and it's quite handy and small, and I clean down my work often with this. This is a stylus. It's an inscribing tool. You can score into paper and then you render colour over the top of it and you can get amazing effects, highlighted hairs. I use it a lot in my cat paintings to do whiskers, and I also inscribe my signature on my paintings with this tool. Tweezers can be very, very useful. I use it to remove masking fluid because rubbing it off can destroy your drawing, and I like to work very clean, so I occasionally use those. This is an X-Acto knife, and lots of coloured pencil artists recommend this for inscribing small highlights. Personally, I find it very difficult to use and it destroys my paper, which I absolutely loathe, so I tend not to use that one. This is a colourless blender. It works exactly like a pencil, but it has no pigment in it, and this is used to blend colours together to create blended effects so that it looks much more like a painting, and it gets rid of those pencil lines. It does dull the colour, but the fantastic thing about coloured pencils is you've only got to put another layer on and all the vibrancy comes back. Very useful tool, not expensive. This is a white coloured pencil. This one is a luminance pencil by Caran d'Ache. I think it's the very best pencil in the world. We use this to blend. We don't use it to add highlights because coloured pencils are sort of translucent, so this is not going to cover another colour. But in a similar way to the colourless blender, sometimes we burnish with a white pencil to give that sort of soft effect. Very useful tool, can't live without that one. Obviously one needs a pencil if you're doing a drawing. I tend to use a B or a 2B. I find HP pencils far too hard. So there you go, that's a pencil. And this, my second favourite item in the world. This is my very, very old, I have no idea who made it, pencil sharpener. You really do need a fine point when you're using coloured pencils if you're going to lay down nice areas of colour, and I'm afraid the handhelds just don't cut it. They will also ruin your pencils. Very useful tool, has a lot of use. This, it's a tea strainer. This can be used to grate pencil in sort of this manner, and then you can collect the dust and that can be put down with a cotton wool swab to make washes of smooth colour. I don't use it very often because it feels kind of wrong to me to do this to a pencil, but it can be a useful technique. So there's a quick run around of my basic utensils and tools that I use for most of my drawings, and I will be showing you how I use each and every one of those in subsequent demonstrations. Thanks for listening. Bye.